you can't be the same you at the different levels that you're trying to go to.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to No Better Motivation. We got a special guest today. I would like to take the time to introduce the CEO behind Mink Mink Co. Inc., Quizinay Cooper. Quizinay has been the CEO of Mink Mink Co. Inc. for over a year now. She is an alumni of Southern New Hampshire University. Currently, she's pursuing her doctorate of education at Abilene Christian University and just dropped her first book. Without further ado, please help me welcome the woman behind the brand, Quizinay Cooper. Welcome, Quizinay.
Hi.
How are you?
Amazing intro. I am blessed.
She
How are
wrote the
you?
intro. She wrote the intro, everybody. I'm good. How are you
I was
today?
gonna tell nobody. I was like, you did so good.
So I want to say thank you so much for joining us today. Like I said, I did the intro for you, but why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself so that the people who don't know will know.
Well, let's let them know. Hi, everybody. Hey, y'all. I'm Quizinay Cooper. I am the CEO, brains behind the operations for Mink Mink Co. Inc., which is it started off as a lash company, but it has transitioned into a beauty brand. I sell vegan lashes, mink lashes. I just added bundles. I sell wigs. I just created an ebook as well. I sell vegan gloss, lip scrubs, so many things. And we started with I mean me. Started with 10 vegan lashes. So that's the business. I'm currently pursuing my doctoral degree at Abilene Christian University in higher education, organization, leadership. I graduated from Southern New Hampshire in 2020, right in the peak of COVID, with my master's degree. Right in the peak of COVID. And I just dropped my ebook on the Mink Lash Guide of how to operate and run a successful business online. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it.
Well, she's very accomplished, everybody. And she's actually the first interview that I'm doing on the channel. And so I find this...
Add that to the resume.
Add that to the resume. Yeah, she's in the inaugural interview class. So without further ado, we have a video to kind of react to. So why don't we go get into that? All right? Let's go get it. Let's go get it.
The version of you that you are right now is why you have what you have. You got to make a complete identity switch to get something different. And so what happens is when people aren't ready to do that, they will always go back to the low-hanging fruit that they're accustomed to, because your presence will require something different.
Wow. To be somebody different, you have to be somebody different. Or to get something different, you can't be the same person that you were. What do you think? What are your thoughts about that? What are your thoughts on the video?
Ma'am, I mean, I think it was a great video, first of all. And secondly, I think the video really touched on, pivotal points of what it takes to be successful, but once you obtain success, how to continue that success, expound on it, and keep going. I feel like the video lets you know that you can't be the same you at the different levels that you're trying to go to. There's always a beginning, a middle, and an end. But after that end is something fresh to start again. And I feel like that's what it's like as we as people who evolve and take on different forms to meet the demand of where you're needed in that moment in life and business, wherever you take that chance.
No, that's a great segue into the next question, right? Because I have this saying that everybody wants to play in the Friday night game, but no one wants to go to practice. Or better put, everybody wants to put everything on the gram, right? And showcase their instant gratification photo. But seems like nobody really wants to do the work behind what that photo represents. What's your thoughts on that?
I think that's a great point. When you say that, I think of so many different things that comes to mind. And I really consider the day of age that we're in. The internet is amazing. Social media is awesome. However, it's created this expectation that everything comes so quickly because you don't see the behind the scenes work, and you can have a false reality of what it is. I always like to put everything out on the line to let you know that this success did not come overnight. There were many sleepless nights that people didn't know about. There were many different things that happened that, that doesn't go into what success looks like. However, it is a part of what success looks like. You have to fail forward in order to continue moving forward. I feel like it's important to always show your wins, your accomplishments, and the things that transpire from you being successful. However, it's also important to see that groundwork, to see you getting it out the mud, to see what it looks like in the trenches, to see what it's like when things don't go the way you want it to go, because that is when character is built, and that is when you know what a person is really made of. And that is when you're in the battle with nobody else but yourself. Well, and that's when I recognize that the competition isn't me against everybody else. People tell me all the time, like, why did you choose lashes? So many other people sell lashes, but they're not me though. They're not me. And not to sound cocky, however, I bring something different that other lash sellers don't bring. Me. I am the brand. I am Mink Meat Co. Inc. And without me, there would be no Mink Meat Co. Inc. So I think it's important to always ensure that you stay in your own lane, you focus on self, and you craft yourself to become what you need to be successful.
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. I think people are scared to be different. I think people are really scared to go and do something that they may fail at, right? So we get comfortable with being comfortable. And my mantra, one of my mantras is we need to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And so you've been doing this for a year. You've actually been doing it longer, but officially
Mhm.
you've been doing it for a year. How have you become comfortable with being uncomfortable?
Man, trial and error. Like, I've become so comfortable with being uncomfortable that uncomfortable is my comfortable. Listen, I'm dropping bars right now.
Bars.
Bars.
Facts.
However, it's always important to understand that there are seasons in life. And I'm not talking about the seasons of winter, spring, summer. I'm talking about winning and losing, failing and being successful, and having a slow month and a month where you're so busy you can't keep up. Each of those times are important. It's important when you have that busy month so you can know what that busy month looks like. And it's also important to have that slow month so you can build up your quarters to know, okay, during the month of January to June or January to March, I don't really get any sales like that. We're coming out of the holidays, people are doing this, and that. And then now in the summertime, I can amp up this. So I used that year to craft my business, we operate within what it looks like to own and operate a small business. I discovered what quarters were. I discovered what sales were. I discovered what fraud was when someone got their products and then they disputed it and said they didn't have it. All of that happened within the first year. And then some people would say, well, oh my God, that sounds like a lot, but it was right on time. I would rather need to know half of everything, because you can't learn everything, but half of everything within that first year than to be in business for 5 years and finally have something happen that I wasn't expecting, but in the realm of success. And now it knocks me off of my success, and I don't know how to come back from that. No, if something happens, I know, well, this happened in the first year. I was able to pivot and I was able to maneuver and put this plan in action, and these were the results from that. So now in year 5, when a problem comes, I'm like, oh, that's nothing. Let's go to the drawing board. Let's do this. Let's remove this. Let's put this here. Let's tweak this, and then get it back to where we need it to be successful within the operations of the business.
So I guess I have a very simple question for you. What caused you to start Mink Mink Co. Inc.?
I was unhappy. I was depressed. I really was not in a good mental space. I was working in corporate America, but within higher education at the community college level. And I just hated it. Like I felt like, I was drowning. I had the education. I remember being in high school and they had this chart. And the chart would have different salaries along with the education level next to it. So it said if you had a high school diploma, the most you would make is 40,000 a year. However, I don't remember those numbers, but I remember the masters and the doctoral. You're making 100,000, 80,000, and that's where I wanted to be. To me, that's what success looked like. Then I graduated with the masters, and I was at the high school level, and I'm like, this isn't the success that I was told that would happen if I did what I was supposed to do. So I had got to the point where I checked all the boxes. I went to higher education, pursued that to have a seat at the table. I got the paperwork, I did the work, and I still wasn't allowed to sit down. So I had two choices. Would I tuck my tail and go sit at the kids' table? Or am I going to move somebody's plate out the way? Excuse me, get a chair and put it where I want to be and set my own place. And I feel like that's exactly what I had to do in order to know what success looked like to me. Because the education to me, it was just the beginning, but it still wasn't getting me to where I wanted to be. So adding the business has been amazing because it's it's like I built my own sandbox, you know? As a kid, the sandbox was the place to be. Like it was happening. If you was in the sandbox, you was a part of the cool kids club. And in higher education or in organizations or corporations, sometimes they don't want to let you in that sandbox. However, I was able to put my real estate right next to theirs and be able to create something of my own that no one can take, that no one can, and add that to my resume, to my repertoire, and create a new idea of what success looks like to me. So it was definitely challenging at first because I had this plan of how my life was going to go. And it's going completely different than what the plan was. But I feel like I'm right on time and I'm right where I need to be.
If you could go back in time and you could talk to yourself and you could give yourself one piece of advice, what would that be?
Leave them behind. Everybody can't come to the top. I am a person that I want to see everybody eat. There's enough food out here to feed everybody. And I want everybody to sit at my table. Like in my mind, my table is like super long. Like if you can really go there with me, picture like back in the medieval times where those tables were huge, like Game of Thrones type. And it's full of food and everybody that I love, everybody that I want to win is all around eating with me. However, that's not what reality really is. It's a small table, maybe a round table with 4 or 5 chairs, enough food for all of us to eat with nothing extra to where someone can come up to the table and try to bite off of what we've put on this table together. So my advice would be, if I could go back to myself, is they're not going to come with you. They want to come, you want them to come, but halfway through the journey, they're not going to be there.
It's funny because I look at life like you're on a boat, you're on a canoe, right? And you're going up a river. And I say canoe specifically because they're pretty big, but they have limited space, right? You got to
Mm-hmm.
put yourself in there, plus any food, water, supplies you're going to need to survive the journey. And so once you put that in there, there's not a whole lot of space left for other people, because every time you add a person, you got to add supplies for them. And you have to make provisions. You have to have provisions for them. And so I kind of always say there's not enough room in the boat. If you're not contributing to going down this river or up this river or however you go up rivers or whatever the terminology is, you can't come in this boat. You have to sit on the shore. I'm about to drop you off because I'm going this way. And if you're paddling and someone is actively paddling against you, just going to be going in a circle. And so I think it's really, really amazing and astounding and astonishing that you have that concept at such a young age, because I didn't learn that until much later, you know. And I think where you are in life is just light years ahead of where a lot of people are at your age, and so it's phenomenal to see you there. Um, I guess my
Thank you.
You're welcome. I guess my next question for you is: you've been through a lot, you've done a lot, you've seen a lot. Um, and you always let's talk about haters because you always have them. You got those people who search your stories, don't like, don't comment, don't say anything. They're just lurking. And how I look at that is, I believe that people who know you are usually the last to support you. It's usually the strangers to support you, um, because the people that know you see you at a time when you weren't doing what you're currently doing. And sometimes they just can't fathom how you're doing all this stuff when I knew you when. Would you care to shine some light on your thoughts on that?
I think that's amazing that you brought that up. And I'm going to present a different perspective to that.
Cool.
My village has been super, super, super supportive. Some of my most like popular clients or customers are my closest friends and family. And the best thing, I literally was talking to my homegirl about this just yesterday. It's funny. People always say this weird saying, like, if you want to know if you have any friends, have a baby. I'm like, no. If you want to know if you have any friends, start a business. Start a business before you have the baby. If you want to have the baby, that's cool as well. Start a business and you'll be able to see who really supports you or not. And I'm not talking about support comes in many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
It can be monetary, like people can spend money. That's, of course, the support that you want as a business. However, support looks different. Support is, oh, I just shared this post that you made it. Oh, I just participated in this giveaway that you started. Oh, I just liked this post. Oh, I just did word of mouth. And that was my first year. Literally, when I started the business, before I started the business, I was still working behind the scenes to get the business going. I dropped the date for the business and I sold out of my product. I bought 20 lashes total for like wholesale inventory. And I got so much support, I had to add to that 20 because I sold out from people so happy for my success that they were supporting me. They were spreading that word of mouth. I feel like there's two sides to every story in life. There's the story of those who don't support and those who do see you come up and those who choose not to be a part of that. Those are the low-hanging fruit of people that you get rid of first. Those are the ones that can't get into VIP and will not be able to get the wristband.
How you gonna
You
hate
know,
from the outside? You can't even get
you
in.
got to, because you're not welcome here. And I see it without even saying it. And then those are the ones who do support, who are always there, who do show up, who don't make excuses, who are your tribe. They're a part of your inner circle. And that is important. It is so important in life and business, in every aspect, to audit your people. People in my life get audited once a year. Around my birthday, my friends tell me all the time, Around December, they're like, oh, Quiz, you starting the audit. I'm auditing. We're going through. Let's review. How was the year? Did we have a great year? We did. We had a few bumps in the road. There was this instance. There was this instance. However, when I look at the full report, you're good to go. It's called a friend facts. You know they have Carfax. It's a friend facts. I want to go through everything. Did we get into a car accident, a friend accident this year? Okay, but we were able to repair it and keep going. But we do got it on record though, so we ain't gonna, we ain't gonna forget it. We gonna forgive, and we're gonna keep moving and we're gonna pivot. However, if your audit comes up short, guess what? You gotta go. It's not up for discussion. There's no doubling back, and I'm not spinning the block. I wish you nothing but the best. I still want you to eat. There's just not enough room for you at my table of five. There's not enough food for you at my table of five.
Got you.
But you can always go to the kids' table or build your own sandbox, but you just can't play in mine anymore. And I mean that with the most sincerest love. I'll even send you away with references. However, you just cannot be a part of my circle anymore. You cannot be a part of my journey anymore because you're stagnant and you're going to bring me down. And I'll go back to the boat analogy. I thought that was perfect. Your canoe. Not only are you paddling against me, but every time I look up, you're poking holes in the boat. I'm patching the holes and paddling. And let's not even talk about the provisions that we added for you. I had to take away from me. Because at first the boat was full of provisions for me. It was enough paddles for me, but now I want you to come into this boat with me and you're sinking me. And then without me even knowing, I'm like, girl, how is these holes getting in this boat? Girl, I don't know, girl. I think it's the wood you're using. No, boo, it's you. It's you. Just make sure that you are aware of your people. You audit your circle, and if they're not supporting you in the way that you feel is feasible to you and what your success looks like, then respectfully part ways and move forward.
Move forward. Always forward, forward always. I like where you're coming with that. That's a hard discussion to have with some people because you one thing I say is just because we have history doesn't mean we have a future, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people get caught up on history. Man, we've been through all of this. We've been all through this. But there are times where people are reasons, seasons, and lifetimes. And I truly, truly believe that, right? You can't be operating in winter when it's spring. And you can't be operating in spring when it's fall. And so you have to operate in that season. And so if you're out of season, if we've fallen out of season, we've just fallen out of season. There's nothing we can do about that. Sometimes things run their course. I think where people mess up is they try to stay in winter when it's summertime, and you can't. And that's why your life is such a disarray, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
you got on leather in the summer, silk in the winter. Shout out to Outcast. Um, and you're just not operating in your best effort or in an area that will give you and yield you the best. And so I guess my last question is if we could manufacture what makes you successful, one thing or two things you choose, and I could sell that as a brand, what are the two things that we would be selling from you?
My hustle and my drive. I can out hustle the best of them just because I'm not afraid of failure. I'm not afraid of disappointment. And no means next to me, and next means better. Whenever one door closes, two more are going to open. And if you have that mentality, nothing will phase you. Nothing will shake you because at the end of the day, you're rooted and grounded within self. So many people don't want to deal with themselves that they don't know themselves. I have been single for 5, almost 6 years because, and not saying that people haven't come and said that they wanted to date, but I put boundaries letting them know I'm not ready for a relationship. Why? Because I'm busy building an empire and you're just not a part of that picture. And that's not to be mean And that's not to be standoffish, it's being honest. You can't bring somebody else with you if you're not together, if you're in a disarray, if you're dressed in leather in the summer and silk in the winter. Did I say it backwards?
Nah, you got it.
Y'all feel me.
You got it.
If you're not dressed for the seasons, and then you're trying to get somebody else dressed, it's not going to work out. So I would definitely bottle up my hustle and my drive to keep going. Sometimes you need self-motivation more than anything else. So many people can want it for you. So many people can say, you have the potential to do it. But if you yourself don't tap into that potential, there's nothing that can come of it. I can have a potential all day to go build a house, but if I don't get those plans together, meet with a contractor, do everything that I need to do, save the money, get my credit together, all of those steps to build that house, that potential is wasted. So I would definitely say my hustle and my drive is what I would bottle up and sell.
And ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Heard from the queen herself, the finest, Mink Co Inc. Now, before we go, we definitely got to do a plug for where can people support, where can people buy your lashes, drop the book location, drop the IG, Snapchats, Instagrams, drop all of that.
Okay, so the Instagram is mink_co_inc. Y'all, I had to think about it. The Facebook is mink_co inc, and the TikTok is the same, mink_co inc. And you can get the book at www.minkcoinc.com. And I will be putting everything together in a link tree that will have like all of my things in one on Instagram. So you will be able to just click wherever you want to go. And I'll have the book link there as well. So it can just be a simple click, but it is on my website.
And there you have it. Once again, I guess last words is, first off, this is the inaugural interview. This is the first ever. And so I'm excited of how it turned out. We definitely got to have you back on the channel. You already know what it is. I guess a takeaway from me is keep going. Very simple. Keep going. When you don't feel like doing it, do it. When you feel like you can't, you can. Keep going. But I want to give the last word to our guest.
I just, actually want to use the last words to say thank you for being a pivotal force, a wonderful example, a humble man living his life humbly, as well as being authentically you. And if I could leave with any last,
thank you,
tidbits of advice, it is to, of course, keep going, but fail forward. Mistakes are going to happen. Don't be afraid to make them. Failure is going to come. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. Build a network, have a solid team behind you, because on the days that you don't feel like doing, those are going to be the ones that push you to keep doing. So that's all I got.
Build you a tribe, get you a squad. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. So we say bless up, greetings, salutations. Have a great evening, day, afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. Peace.
Peace.